Do Jews have any advantage that others don't have? Then what advantage does the Jew have? Or what's the benefit of circumcision? Great in every respect. First, that they were entrusted with the actual words or oracles of God. What if some of the Jews were unfaithful? True, some of them were unfaithful. But just because they were unfaithful, does that mean God will be unfaithful? Are Jews superior to Gentiles? What did Paul say? What then, are we better than they? No, in no wise. For we've before proved, both Jews and Gentiles, that they're all under sin. As it's written, there's none righteous, no, not one. Do our mouths reveal what we're truly like? Does Paul quote several psalms about our words? Their throats are open graves, their tongues practice deceit. The poison of vipers is on their lips, their mouths are full of cursing and bitterness. What knowledge did the law reveal? For we know that whatever the law says, it says to those who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before God. Therefore, by the deeds of the law, no flesh will be justified in his sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin. How can Jews and Gentiles be made right with God? But now God's shown us a way to be made right with him, without keeping the requirements of the law, as was promised in the writings of Moses and the prophets long ago. We're made right with God by placing our faith in Jesus Christ. And this is true for everyone who believes, no matter who we are. Have all sinned, both Jew and Gentile? Does that include Mary? How can we be made righteous or justified? For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that's in Christ Jesus. Does bragging about works of the law, like circumcision, Sabbath keeping, clean foods, and animal sacrifices, make us right with God? What about faith? Then what becomes of our boasting? It's excluded. By what kind of law? By a law of works? No, but by the law of faith. For we hold that one's justified by faith, apart from works of the law. Luther added the word alone here, which contradicts Jesus, James, and 1500 years of Christian teaching before him. What did James write? You see that a person's justified by works, and not by faith alone. Does James contradict Paul? Context is important. Here Paul is speaking about the works of the law, and James is speaking about good works that accompany an obedient faith. Should Christians obey Jesus? In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who's in heaven. What did Paul elsewhere write is some of the fruit of a Christian life, so that you'll walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, to please him in all respects, bearing fruit in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of God. What did Jesus teach about bearing fruit? Can fruit be borne by a branch apart from the vine? Is this the basis of the Protestant idea that good works follow attachment to the vine or grafting into the natural olive tree? Remain in me, as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. What happens to anyone who doesn't remain in Christ? What does the fire represent? If anyone doesn't abide in me, he's cast out as a branch and is withered, and they gather them and throw them into the fire, and they're burned. How will the dead be judged? And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. Is God a bigot, or is God the God of Jews only? Isn't God the God of Gentiles also? Yes, God is also the God of Gentiles. Is the law overthrown or nullified by faith? Do we then cancel the law through this faith? Absolutely not. Instead, we confirm the law. The oracles or words of God in the Old Testament were given to the Jews. However, Jews are also fellow sinners, just like the rest of the world. We both need Jesus. Do you obey Jesus in good works? You decide.